So morning guys, welcome to the channel. So Canada is getting closer and closer, so it's time to start getting my kit ready, and the excitement is starting to build, if I'm honest. So I've just been prepping rods and stuff this morning and just going through exactly what I'm going to bring with me. So for the heavy stuff, I've opted for the X1 Travel. It's the extra heavy, so it'll throw 20 to 80 gram lures, right? Now, I'm going to be throwing some big old lures, right? So it's 2.4 meters, extra fast action. But honestly, it feels like, you know, it doesn't feel like a big heavy rod. I mean, it's impossible to review a rod online with a small little camera, right? But just to give you an idea, like, you can see how fast the action is in it, right? I mean, it's really responsive. But you wouldn't be tired out fishing that all day, right? I mean, we're going to be chucking some big old lures. We're going to be chucking some 150s, 160s, right? Up to 60, 70 grams surface lures for the stripers. And big feed poppers and biggest stories. And got some big ocean born stuff. Going to go down to Fishers in Spain and get in some of the big patrons and stuff. But I also bought, I bought in the light one, right, which is the 10 to 30 gram rod. And actually, the travel version is a nicer finish than the normal one, right? It's really well finished, like it's like, you know, and alright, call me a bit of a tart or whatever, but I actually like a bit of finish on a rod, right? You know, I recently opened an account with the good folks Tackle Wave UK, right? So they're supplying me with IMA and all sorts of other brands, and they very kindly sent me Mark Cowling Sea Bass Custom, the 8-foot version or whatever, 8.6 version or whatever it is. And I have to say, it's just a beautiful rod to fish with. I mean, it's just the feel of it in your hand, the cork handle, the fast responsiveness, the amount of power. Like, I hooked a 70 centimeter fish out there, and you've got literally like 10 square foot. And if the fish gets any further than that, it's gone. And that rod was well able to handle it. Like, it just bent into that fish, got it up on the surface, got it thrashing it out. A few casts later, I hooked another fish, and its head came out of the water, and my God, what a fish. The lure, when it threw the lure back at me, the lure was moving so fast, it buried into my shoulder, through my jacket, and actually pierced my skin. Oh, that lure there. The infamous IU Z-Claw, right? I mean, it's just proven to be an it's just my favourite top water lure now at the minute. I just cannot fault it. Well, this goddamn camera there, it's in focus now. I mean, it is just... Now, I have a whole bunch of Z-Claws on the way in. All the light whackers and dark whackers are back. And now you can't get the IU ones. I think it's absolutely hilarious. But here's a lure that's kind of gone unnoticed on the site, right? And it's the 7-inch slingshot from Megabass. Now, I'd say that's going to absolutely destroy stripers. I mean, I'm watching the French boys fishing it from the ribs, right? Off their coast, I'd say it's off their northern coast, because they're white cliffs, right? And, I mean, they're just nailing fish, right? I mean, if you think about the profile of the lure, it's perfect, right? It's just wide enough in the body. It's got that long tail. It's got a fork in the tail that will produce lots of action under the water. Let me show you. Lots of action under the water, right? Like, it's just mint, you know? And yet, just because it looks a bit funny, right, people tend not to go for it. They're like, oh, no, that doesn't look like a But actually, in my experience, the two most important things are profile and action, right? And you can just impart so much action. Like you can fish that on an offset hook, right? It's got a slit here for that, or you can fish it on a coyote head. But I was just rummaging through my lures and what have you, and looking at what I had lots of that I could bring, sort of, and hammer through in a day or whatever. Because apparently, when the stripers are on over there, they're really on. The other lure I'm absolutely sure is going to do absolutely mint over there is this boy. That's the 3D pencil, Duo Realis pencil, right? And it seems to have kind of escaped people's notice as well. People don't seem to be too taken with it. I had 2 double figure bass on that lure last year. Now, not that particular lure, but that model of lure. Within the space of 3 days, both coming off the same run, right? Both coming out of the same channel. Both fish hit it in exactly the same spot. So what's happening is you've got a sandbar, and it's pretty shallow. Even at high water, there might be, if there's 2 foot of water in there, you're doing well, right? And as that water empties out, there's a channel that runs along one side, but it drops. There's kind of a hole, and the fish fall back off the bar and they sit into the hole, and the bait gets blown up over their head, so they just pop up. They stay out of the current and they pop up and grab stuff as it's going by, So crabs are getting washed down, all sorts of stuff is getting washed down. Now, I was fishing this maybe 2 months ago, and I'd only fished this for an hour, right? And then that's it. You're done, right? There's no water left. There's no current left. You can forget it. You might pick one up, or you might see one at your feet or something. But, and I just knew, when you're on a mark and you just know the fish are there, but just for some reason you're not hooking up with them. So I put up the dark sleeper, and I'd fished it with just about everything else. And I got just the slightest tap, and I said, that's definitely a fish. So I did it again, and I got another tap, and I said, that is definitely a fish. So next cast then, I covered the sleeper in Halco scent, and I cast it out, and I just let it bump along the bottom, and by Jesus did I get some take. I had 5 fish in an hour, and it just cemented for me that Halco scent it's like magic juice. It absolutely works. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Like, I mean, if it was a gimmick, I would say it was a gimmick, and I would say don't bother your arse buying it. It's a waste of money. Blah 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 blah. It is not a gimmick. Whatever else it is, it just gives off whatever it gives off. I mean, I was watching a guy on Instagram fishing this tiny little, inch long plastic, right? And he was flicking it at a place that was buried in the sand, and you could see the place, look up, look at it, bury back down again. And then he puts the bit of scent on, flicks it out, and sure enough, the minute the thing hit the water, the fish was up and grabbed it. Bang, fish on. I thought, that is exactly it, right? And look, I like to watch the American largemouth bass scene, right? Because a lot of the innovation in fishing is coming from that. I mean, you're talking huge money. Like, some of the prizes are $1 million, right? Like, it's ridiculous, right? So they've banned the use of all additives, right? What the guys were doing is they were getting female hormones, right, and putting them on the lures, and they were attracting in the big male fish, right? Because they were like thinking it was a female and they were going to get jiggy with it. I just think it's hilarious, what fellas will do. And then, of course, there was the other boys who were caught stuffing the stones down into the bass before the weigh-in. It's mad what fellas will do to win, I mean, that's just totally the opposite of what fishing is about for me. Like, for me, fishing is like that's a lifestyle, isn't it? Right? It's like a spiritual exercise. It's the one place where I can go and my mind is quiet, and I'm just able to be there and be with my friends and have the crack and, not have to think about any of the stuff that you have to think about when you're out here in the world trying to make your way or whatever. And it's been that way since I was a little boy. I mean, from the very first time I got my hands on that book, Sea Angling in Ireland by Des Brennan, I was just hooked. I was just mystified. Here were these three guys baiting over the Connor Pass in a Ford Cortina, in the middle of the night, trying to make it to Stradbally for low water. I could picture myself tucked in amongst them, It's like, come on, lads, here we go. I never caught a bass in my life, you know. But it was just that escapism, right? Just that, the joy of it, you know what I mean? And that's what fishing brings me. It brings me joy, like it makes me happy, right? And like, if you have passions in life, you should pursue them because life is short. I mean, I just spent 2 years of my life in bed, more or less, with long COVID. And I have to tell you, I was talking to somebody last night whose mother has got it. And the poor woman is crippled. And he said, like, she can barely make it from the bed to the kitchen. And I said, look, that's exactly how I was. Tell her to give me a ring if she wants. And I give her whatever help I can. Or tell her to go and see the people in Bandon in the Hyperbaric Centre. They were very, very helpful. I mean, that was the only thing I did that really actually helped me. Now, it didn't cure me, but it made me feel a bit better so that I was able to endure a bit more suffering and a bit more illness and everything. And thankfully, now I'm jogging every morning and my fitness is returning, we'll be getting back to doing a good bit of guiding and stuff now. And things are really taking off. The business is going very well. So I just have absolutely nothing to complain about. Life is going very, very well for me. So I'm incredibly grateful. But I just thought I'd review those rods here because, it's nice to have a rod with you when you're on holidays, right? If you're going down to Marbella or whatever, you'd be amazed at what you can catch right in the middle of Marbella on the breakwaters there. So learfish running the spring. Right, now in the heat of the summer it's not so good because it gets too hot for those fish, right? So they tend to be more spring and autumn kind of fishing, but nonetheless, nice to have a rod with you to be able to have a bit of a cast and get out around the place and yourself, a bit of freedom and explore some new rock marks or beach marks or estuaries or whatever floats your boat. Be prepared though, because like you look at somewhere on Google Maps and you think, oh yeah, I'll go here and whatever, then you get there and it's a very different story. We got caught out the other night. We were trying to jump across the cliffs, man, and we ended up up to our neck in brambles. But myself and my good friend Bradley, so Brad has been doing extremely well out of the kayak. He's been absolutely hammering fish, and he's been doing great with the power slide. Himself and a few other people have been fishing the power slide, and it's fishing particularly well. That's another rod from Favourite. I'll review another day. It's the Totem. It's not a rod that gets talked about an awful lot. It kind of sits between an X1 and a Black Swan, if you like, in that it's about 170 quid or so. I mean, it's a typical Favourite rod, very little finish or whatever, but all the money goes into the blank or whatever. It's a really nice rod. It's very fast action, very light, very responsive. Perfect for kayak fishermen, right? Because like I'm the same in the small boat, right? Like, do you want to bring a 500 or 600 euro rod on the boat with you? When you could sit in it, or you could drop it overboard, or something could happen, or anchor chain could hit it, or whatever. Anything could happen, right? So it's worth thinking about having those mid-range rods that are still good rods that will help, allow you to fish top water lures properly, etc., whilst not breaking the bank where to fall overboard or get stood on or whatever things might befall you while you're on the water, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. I mean, the shop is like totally fully stocked, right? I mean, there's all sorts there. these are just like, now they're a one fish lure, but that's the madness, mad fin. I mean, the action out of that lure is absolutely incredible. You know, I mean, it's that trade-off I was talking to you about between how hard a plastisol is and the amount of action you get out of it. So the harder the plastisol, the less action, but the more durability. So the softer it is, the more action, but the less durability. So that really is a one or two fish lure. Like, you're not going to catch more than 2 bass on that before it's destroyed, right? Before it's torn to ribbons. But, you know, if you're like me, well, I think it's worth it, right? Especially if it's a tough day. You know, we had a tough day the other day. We could see the fish. We could see them sitting there. And we just couldn't get them to turn to anything, you know. And sometimes when they're in the weed like that, they're feeding on the glass shrimp and all the rest of it. And you just can't switch them on, right? Now, granted, I didn't have any creature baits with me. If I had had a few creature baits and a bit of scent, I'm sure I might have picked up a fish or two. But I won't wobble on for any longer. I just wanted to get on and say to you, look, if you're looking for a travel rod, don't ignore the X1 Travel. They really are a really nice, well-made, well-finished piece of kit. And I certainly am happy to I'm bringing 3 of them, actually, to PEI with me. And then I'm bringing a Major Craft as well, 10-foot Major Craft 4-piece. That I'm getting off the lads in Tackle Wave. Yeah, so that's it. So loads of new lures on the way. We've an order coming in from Ultimate. Put an order in with Tackle Wave yesterday. So lots of new stuff should be up online next week. So loads more lures and lure talk, and hopefully some footage of some fishing, because hopefully get out fishing this weekend. It's to settle tomorrow, and I think if there were like 24 hours of settled weather. I was looking in the back of the estuary today. The water is clean. If it's clean in the back, it means I can fish the bottom 2 hours of the tide, and that's when I get those fish coming past me. So we might give it a whirl tomorrow, and give it another whirl Saturday, and then I'd say it's going to blow out again. But sure, look, we'll make hay while the sun shines, right? I'd also like to get up and start doing some salmon fishing. I have a whole whack load of Vision 95s and 110s and Spearhead Ryukis and everything else sitting out there in a box that I haven't even gotten up online yet. So, I mean, it's to find the time to do everything, you know what I mean? I'm just like a little one-man operation trying to pack boxes and update websites, and oh God, you know, people are ordering lures that aren't in stock, and then you're having to ring them, and oh, it's the usual crack, right? You know, biting off more than you can chew, right? But sure, I could never be accused of doing anything by half, that's for sure. So, look, in the meantime, lads, tight lines, and thanks again for all your support. I mean, just incredible. Again, I was talking to somebody last night, you know, and all I said to him was, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll look after the postage." And the absolute gentleman said, "Oh, well, I'll tie up a heap of flies for Prince Edward Island." I just thought, that's what fishing's about, you know. It's about helping each other out. It's about being kind and gentle and, you know, nice and decent, and, you know, not all this hyper competitive, like, you know, I'm a hardcore angler or whatever, you know. I'm not having to go with anyone now. I'm really not. Like, everybody's free to do their own thing, but I just don't go in for all that, you know, super full on stuff. I like to have a bit of crack and relax, and, you know, if somebody catches a 75 beside me, I'm delighted for them. Like, I don't get jealous, or, you know, it's like, what's to be jealous of? It's just a fish, like, you know. It's like, fishing's not about catching fish, like, it's about the experience. It's about the hunt. It's about, you know, the preparation, the whole lifestyle that goes with it, right? Well, it certainly is for me. I mean, you know, I don't know what it's about for other people, like, you know. I mean, since I was a small kid, it's just been my happy place, right? It's just where I can go and I know, my head settles down and I'm able to just focus on what I'm doing and just get on with it and have a good day. So, um, but I won't wobble on any longer because I'm going off down that many tangents now at this point. It's ridiculous. It's like an episode of The Agency or something. But yeah, so look, tight lines, guys. Keep her lit. Let us know if you're getting a few fish. Let us know if you're not. You know, and I hope you all have a great weekend. All right, tight lines. Take it easy. Talk soon.